Hey everybody, on this episode of Samp&Chance Boxing, we are going to take a look back at Ryan Garcia, his fight that happened this past weekend. We're also going to look ahead to Devin Haney and Regis Prograis, their fight. Also, who's next for Ryan and what's next for the divisions? Guys, all this and so much more on this episode of Samp&Chance. So strap in and thank you for letting us into your ears. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Samp&Chance Boxing. I'm your host, Bobby Sampson. Joined with me, as always, my man with the master plan, Mr. Chance Michaels. Happy Thursday, my friend. Here we are. The weekend is upon us. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Can't complain, man. Work week. The week has just been a whirlwind. It just seems like the days are going faster and
Oh
faster.
yeah.
And wow, it's just time's flying, my friend. Time is flying. Had some crappy weather this week, but it is what it is. It's that time of the year. I mean, if it wasn't crappy, I'd be concerned.
Yeah, it's not bad out today though. Not too bad today. +9, cloudy.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. It is wintertime, right? I mean, I
Yeah.
take that over -50, -10. So,
Oh, any
right.
day.
Awesome, awesome. All right, brother man, why don't we get right into it? We had Ryan Garcia fight for the first time since he lost to Tank. Brand new trainer, brand new team, everything. Derek James is with him now. Why don't we break this down really quickly for what we saw?
Yeah.
So I ask you, Mr. Michaels, what did you see on Saturday night?
Well, I mean, Garcia, he's got some new strategies in there. I guess with Derek James, he's trying to do the Floyd Mayweather shoulder roll, except he wasn't doing it that well, and he was almost turned to his back to him, which you're not allowed to do. That's technically illegal in boxing. So Oscar's kind of hitting him in the back a little bit. When he wasn't doing it as cheap shots, he just did the shoulder roll, not perfection like Mayweather. So he kept getting hit in the back. He got warned for it, but it wasn't intentional. I mean, Garcia, he went 8 rounds. He probably won 6. Oscar got a couple rounds in. The CompuBox stat numbers are pretty much equal. Punches thrown, punches landed is pretty even. I mean, but you could see Garcia's hand speed. He had the power, and he just finished him off with that left hook that he has. Almost beautiful left hook. He hits hard. This is a stepping stone for him. I don't think they thought Oscar would fight as hard as he did. And he was a game fighter. Garcia's a better talent. He's a pay-per-view star. This is a free fight, which is nice. He's got to work on his defense a little bit, but I mean, this was a tune-up fight for him, and he won it like he should. So all in all, I'm happy. I actually like the guy. He's a good young kid, and I thought he looked half decent, not bad. You?
Okay, well, here's what I take away from. I think we saw 3 different styles emerge from Ryan Garcia in that fight. The first couple of rounds, I think he was doing the right thing with that jab. He needs to establish that jab more, use it more, and he was doing that in the first 2 rounds. From there, then he started the shoulder roll thing. You know what I mean? Doing that kind of stuff. And then for the rest of the fight, he was just running, like and
Mm-hmm.
he was moving a lot, right? Duarte, yeah, I mean, he was supposed to win this fight, but I'll be honest, Ryan looked confused and a little lost throughout that fight. I mean, Derek James, brought him back down to earth and whatnot. Like even he said that, like he was telling him not to do that shoulder roll thing, to stay
He
behind
wasn't
that
doing it
jab.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? So, yeah, he needs to go back to the gym. I don't think this makes him a top contender at that level, in my opinion. I think he still needs more work. I think you put him in there with the Sharks, he's going to get destroyed. We'll maybe touch on that a little bit later. But overall, yeah, he got the job done. Yeah, he caught him with that nice left, right? I mean, the boy has power, absolutely. I just think he needs to just focus more on technique and skill, right? I mean, running around and he getting away from what was working. That jab was beautiful. He just sticks to that jab, works with that, works behind it. I
Well,
think
with a guy like Garcia, he's trying to show everybody else, I'm just not going to use my jab like Oscar did. I'm going to do other things. I can do this. I can hook. I can shoulder. I'm this talented guy. That's what he's trying to do. He's a little bit young and cocky. One thing I got to bring up before this round ends, Oscar's complaining about the count. The referee was right in his face. He got up about 9.5, 9.2, and then he got up at 10. But the referee, you got to be up before that. So the referee made the right call. He's complaining. There won't be a rematch. Garcia, because he's a pay-per-view star, he's going to get all the big fights. Tiafimo, all these guys are going to fight him because he's a major star. So you're right, though. He needs a lot more work. I don't know what it is. Maybe just his attitude and cockiness is going to hurt him.
yeah, he looked, like I said, he looked really confused there, man, in some parts of it. Like he didn't want to be there. I just got that
He
sense,
said
right?
Oscar hits really hard too, so I think those punches were he's starting to feel it.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I think one thing Chris Maddox was saying on the broadcast, maybe the reason he's doing that role the way he was to protect that area because he was almost scared of getting hit there again. I
Could
mean, the
be,
psychological part of it all. All
but he
right, Matt.
wasn't doing it. But yeah, that was crazy.
So we will stay at 140 here, and we will go over to Devin Haney versus Regis Prograis for the WBC title that's on the line here. Devin has dropped all the titles at 135, so now he's officially at 140. Mr. Michaels, your take on this fight?
First things first, a lot of people are not happy that this is a pay-per-view. $60. So if you are a member of DAZN, you pay $60. If you don't, if you're not a member of DAZN, you pay $74.99. People are saying this should be a free fight because the Garcia fight was free, although there's no belts on the line. This is Vegas is giving Progress no respect. He's a 3-1 underdog. They're saying Haney should win a decision easily. I think he will easily. He'll box. He's a better athlete, a better boxer, more skilled. Pay-per-view at $60 is going to hurt them. This probably should be a free fight just because Progress doesn't have a big name. So I don't know how many they're going to sell. Maybe 100,000. They're lucky, 150. It should be a good fight. I'm looking forward to it, but a lot of people are. I've been noticing on the blogs are pissed off and saying we're not paying for this fight at $60. It's not a pay-per-view fight. It should be a free fight. Should be a good fight. But Haney's going to win. He's going to win a decision. Haney's not the most exciting fighter to watch. That's the thing, right? He doesn't really bring the action. He's good and he's skilled, but this is not going to be two guys going to war. It's going to be technical. It's going to be skilled. Haney 12-round decision, unanimous. What do you think?
I agree. I think Haney takes it in 12 rounds, but I do believe Progress does have a chance. I mean, Haney's going to have to come out and fight. He can't be the technical guy. Like, I mean, I believe Haney's going to try to work the lanes. He's going to try to work the outside, stick and move, stick and move. I think that's going to be his thing. Here's the thing. Haney hasn't fought at 140. Yeah, he's big for 135, but he's just about the average size for 140.
Mm-hmm.
Progress does have that experience at 140. So here's my thing. I think Progress could win the fight, but he would have to win it by knockout. He wouldn't win it by decision. He'd win it by knockout or TKO. If Progress can get in there, because Haney, we don't know, like his power. I don't think he has the greatest power.
He doesn't.
I mean,
No,
if he did,
that.
he would have knocked out Kambosos. He would have, knocked out Kambosos, right? In my opinion, but he didn't. He couldn't finish him off. So, I think his power is going to be even less at 140.
Vegas does not respect his power at all. If you pick Haney to win by TKO KO or disqualification, it's plus 6-1. They're saying minus 225 for the win. So who knows? Maybe he'll shock us all and stop him, but I don't think so.
I just think I mean, it's just touch and go, touch and go. He's just got to break him down, break him down. That would be his philosophy and his road to victory, in my opinion, for Haney. Where Progress, he's going to have to take that risk and come inside and get those big shots off, right? But if he can do that, I think we're going to have an interesting fight. I think Haney's going to come out. He's going to take the first 2 or 3 rounds just by touch and go, because Progress isn't going to get in there. I think it's going to come down to Progress trying to get in there, and that's when that fight will start to happen. So
this fight shouldn't even be happening. Haney should be a rematch with Lomachenko. I don't know why he's dodging and why he's hiding it. That's what this is hurting the fight too, as far as fanfare.
Yeah, no, fair play, man. I mean, that's basically where it kind of stands. I get that completely, but I'm kind of curious because Progress didn't look that great when he came out of his last fight. And Haney, I feel sorry for Haney in a lot of ways because he's done everything you want a boxer to do. Win the title, he defended it twice, right?
Isn't it funny that he had no problem rematching Kambosos, but he wants no part of fighting Lomachenko again? Says a lot about him.
That says a lot about a lot of people who don't want to face that guy, right? I mean, it's the reality of it. All right, round number 3. I thought we talk about that we'll stick to 140 here. I mean, this seems to be the theme of the day. So Ryan Garcia comes off. Maybe we just talk about who's next for the guy. I look at that division and it's huge, right? Like a lot of the biggest names are in there. You got now Haney in there. You got Progress. You got Tiafimo. Josh Taylor's in there as well. Rolly, right? Who is the fight for Ryan Garcia next, in your opinion, based on what you saw?
I think he's gonna fight. I know what Tio's saying no, but I think he's gonna fight Tiafimo. Bob's been hanging out with De La Hoya. They're trying to make this fight. I think that'd be a good fight. I don't know who would win that fight. Probably Tiafimo will be a slight favorite, but you never know. Sometimes Tiafimo surprise you and sometimes he disappoints you. So I think he'll fight Teofimo next. That'd be a big pay-per-view. People want to fight Garcia. He's the third most watch boxer behind Canelo and Fury. He's that much of a star. He drove bigger numbers than Benavidez, all these guys. He crushes them. 10 times more pay-per-views fight when Garcia fights. He's young. He's a good-looking kid. Huge social media following. People buy his pay-per-view, so people want to fight him. So basically, whoever he wants to fight at 140, he can have the fight because it's about dollars at the end of the day. And
Yeah,
these boxers know that, right?
fair play. For me, I like him and Rolly to go in 2024.
Yeah, they could do that.
I think that would be the perfect fight in my opinion, because you got two underachieving, underwhelming guys that need something. They need to prove something, right?
Yeah,
I mean, Garcia, yeah, he finished off Duarte, but I mean that he was supposed to,
yeah.
right? But
That's what
the way he went around to doing it left a lot of questions in people's minds, in my opinion, than answering questions about him.
Yeah,
Then you got Rolly, who almost got beat by an old man,
yeah.
right? So you got two guys coming off of fights with Gervonta, who just destroyed them. They come back in their return matches. Don't look, they look okay. They don't look great. Leave you with more questions.
I would like to see a 140 Tank versus a TFM or something like that. Something that can
Well,
give him a little challenge, right?
I think that would be great too, right? But here's what I like to see. So I think that would be a great fight only because that would sell pay-per-views.
Oh yeah.
The commentary, like if nothing else, if Rolly isn't good in the ring, that dude's good at promoting a fight,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's what it's
So
about, right? Selling the seats, selling the pay-per-views.
so Rolly and him, I think would be a really fun fight. I think that's the real fight to make. I don't think he stands a chance against Haney. I don't think he stands a chance against. Well, we already saw what Tank did to him. I don't think he stands a chance against anyone really else in that division. We're not talking about Mateus either, man. I mean, that's the one guy that nobody wants to touch right now. In that division. So 140 is monster right now, man. But yeah,
Is it funny though? There's probably about 4 or 5 better boxers than Ryan Garcia at 140, but he's the number one pay-per-view draw, so he can call the shots.
yeah,
When
no, he
people
can call
fight
the
him, he sells
shots.
pay, right?
But the
So
reality is, if he wants to be smart and keep his numbers and keep his, marketability going, he's got to fight the right fights, man. He can't go
I
after
think
the
you're going to see,
fights.
because Oscar and Bob are buddies again. I think you're going to see Tiafimo and we were just talking about there, Tiafimo and Garcia.
Ryan Garcia, yeah. All right,
Who
brother,
knows
man.
though? Rolly too could be a lot of good fights.
Yeah. So with the Christmas season and everything, we have fights every week, but things are starting to slow down in the world of boxing a little bit in terms of storylines and things like that. So I think we basically covered everything that's kind of happened in the past week and what's about to happen this week. I would talk about the undercard a little bit on this fight, but it's kind of underwhelming. I mean, the only other name that's on there that has any kind of name is Montana Love. So, I mean, this is the pay-per-view card itself overall, it's kind of lacking. There
People are
are some
complaining about it.
there are some really good fights on this card, don't get me wrong, but I mean, you have to be a boxing guy to want to watch them and enjoy them, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, I'll watch them because we're boxing guys. This is what we
Yeah.
do. But for the casual fan, yeah, I don't see this as a great opportunity to do something on pay-per-view.
Casual fan will tune in around the time Hades going to fight and watch the fight if they can stream it or something.
If
It's going to be
that's
a hard.
about it.
This is a hard pay for you to sell because Progress is going to have a big name. He's not well known in the casual circles. So I mean, how many people are actually going to order this fight? I hope it does well. I'm going to watch it, but I don't know.
I'm gonna watch it regardless. We have to watch it. We're gonna come back and talk
Yeah.
about it. All right, Chance. I tell you what, that's 3 rounds in the bag. I don't think there's anything else we need to talk about. But anything in this week in boxing history and Canadian boxing?
Yeah, we're gonna start off with Canadian boxing. This is not this week. This is just a boxer I want to mention. He's one of Canada's, I would say, top 10, top 15. I don't think he gets enough credit, but the one and only Trevor Berbick. He held the Canadian heavyweight championship for much of the 80s and briefly held the WBC heavyweight championship in 1986 before losing to the one and only Mike Tyson. But he was also the last man. The reason why I brought this up, he's also the last man to fight Muhammad Ali, and he beat him in a 10-round unanimous decision. So pretty solid career for one of Canada's own Trevor Berbick there. I don't think he gets enough attention. And on this week in boxing history, my favorite fighter of all time, Manny Pacquiao, won his first world title in Thailand in 1998. He would go on to fight for 20 more years going up 40 pounds to win 8 different belts along the way. And the guy he fought was, nobody's ever heard of him, Chai Saskakal. 1998, Thailand, his first belt, went up 40 pounds. He was probably 110 for that fight, something like that.
On Manny Pacquiao, here's something really, really interesting. I saw this reel about him, and Freddie Roach is his manager, and I believe he suffers from
Parkinson's.
Parkinson's disease, right? So
You mean his trainer, yeah.
His trainer. So his hands are always kind of what they are and whatnot. There was they showed these two fighters that were making fun of Freddie in the build up to their fights. And then they go to the actual fight and see what Pacquiao does to these guys.
Oh, he's a monster. And he's fighting in 2024. He's got lots of offers. He might fight Amir Khan. I don't know. Lots of guys want to fight him. You fight Manny, you're going to make money, right? He wants to fight, so he's going to fight somebody. I don't know who, but
Manny doesn't need money, but I think he needs to be smart of who he chooses to fight, man. Because I mean, at the end of the day, the legacy will always be what it is. But I don't want to see Manny go in there and get beaten up either.
It's like Muhammad Ali. He got his butt whooped at the end of his career. Nobody talks about it, right? Why did now Canadian boxing? It was rare. His legacy's intact. Now for him, he says one of the reasons he wants to fight, he just wants to train. He loves the training. He loves the hard work. This guy's a hardworking guy. Like Freddie Roach said, he's the hardest working boxer ever worked with. He's worked with you name a boxer, a UFC guy. He's trained George St. Pierre. You name a guy, Freddie's trained him. And he says, man, he loves to work. And I wouldn't let him fight again if he wouldn't work hard. And he still has that work ethic. So, and of course, he loves the money, obviously. But he says he's going to fight in 2024.
No. And I'll tune in. You'll tune in. We'll probably tune in together, right? But the reality is, I want him to pick smart fights. Not, I don't want him to diminish his name. He worked really hard to build that. And, we live in a world today
where one of the young guys want to fight him, he'll fight him. If Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence want it, he's doing it.
Young guys see the payday, right? I mean, it's a payday. It's a guaranteed payday. You win fighting Manny Pacquiao, right? So, and I don't even know if it's bragging rights, man. I mean, what kind of bragging right does a young buck have to say that they beat up an old Manny Pacquiao?
And then if they lose him, they this guy's dangerous. They got to take it serious, right? So
no, he's dangerous. He's powerful. Don't get me wrong. I'm taking nothing away from Manny, but age does catch up, right? I mean, that's just the reality of what I'm saying. I don't want him to get hurt unnecessarily. I don't want him to diminish his name unnecessarily, taking fights that in his mind that he think he can win, in our minds that we want to believe that he can win.
Yeah.
But the reality of it, right? I mean, it's like Haney's going to face punches this weekend that he's never faced before. Forget the fact that he's
moving up and weight. These guys, each weight you go up, they hit a little harder.
Right? They hit a little bit harder. He doesn't hit as hard. So, that's just the reality of it. I think people are sleeping on Regis because of that. I mean, as I jump over that way.
Yeah, you're right.
That power means something. We've seen it time and time again this year. Good friend of the show, Jose Benavides Jr., he put up a valiant effort, but he couldn't match that power, ultimately.
Or the skill and technique, but I know what you're saying. But he got the heart of a lion, that guy.
Right.
Speaking of that, the Saudi Arabia is saying in 2024 they want to make Bivol versus Beterbiev happen for all the belts. So that's going to go down. We're going to give him so much money, they won't be able to say no to that.
No. I mean, if it's in Saudi, it's going to happen that way, right? Yeah. The other thing I'm hearing right now as well, just food for thought. I don't know if this is real, but I'm hearing... You always keep hearing Canelo for Cinco de Mayo. Is it going to be this guy, that guy? But now I'm hearing it's going to be Jamal.
Beat up both the brothers? Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, so that's kind of where I'm hearing. And that was the fight that they wanted initially, right? Mel wasn't on their radar. It was Jamal that they wanted.
And he's the better brother. He's a more skilled fighter.
Right. So
Canelo will beat him, though.
Yeah, so you got that coming up potentially as well. You also still have
Canelo's going to make people don't realize Canelo's going to make Benavidez wait. He'll fight him, but he's going to fight him on his terms. You got to remember, he's the A side. Benavidez is the B side. As much as I want Benavidez to beat him, you have to wait. Look, I'm not saying it's right. That's how this works.
We've always said there's only two guys, and I said this in Vegas to a lot of people that I was talking to. I said there's only two men in this whole sport that can call their shots any way they want right now. That's Canelo and that's Tyson Fury. At one time, it was an Oscar and it was Floyd and it was a Manny who were calling all the shots, right? Manny, the best of the three of them, because he fought everybody and anybody. Right?
Still wants to.
Wants to. Where the other two, well, maybe not Oscar so much, but with Floyd, he picked and choose.
Absolutely. Wait, man. Years.
And Canelo's doing pretty much the same thing now. Like, he's this generation's Floyd. Pick and choose, but he earned the right. He's allowed to.
Right? right?
He sells the ticket so he can do what he wants. The longer you wait on David, the harder it's going to be
Well, because
for
Canelo's
him.
getting older, you should do it. If you're going to do it, just do it now, because this is, But the older you get, Canelo, the more punch you take. Dave's only going to get better. He's only 26.
No, David's only going to get better. David's in the wrong weight class. I mean, he's got 1 foot and 168 and 175 in the other door, right? So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he's in a bit of a transition. I don't know how many more times that David can make 168. To be
Yeah,
honest, to be fair, like he won't talk about it. I know he hasn't talked about it. I mean, his dedication and his hard
well, you
work
can
and his
just see his
second.
body. You can see his stomach. You can see the way he's built. He could easily go to 175. He can go to 200. He probably walks around over 200. I wouldn't doubt.
Probably. I mean, the man's 6'2". He's a big boy.
Yeah,
All right, Chance, I tell you what, let's end it here. Let's call it our day and let's get on with the weekend. Thursday Eve, or Friday Eve, as I like to call it, is upon us. So, my friend, on that note, my name is Bobby Sampson. He's Mr. Chance Michaels.
and in the words of the great ACDC, those that download, like, and subscribe to the podcast, we salute you.
We do salute you, everybody. And guys, like I said on Tuesday, and I'll reaffirm it again, Christmas parties are in full effect. You may be attending some, you might not be, but you might be on the road with people when they're coming out of them. Be aware, be diligent, right? And to those going to these parties, please, we can't stress enough that we want you to be safe. So if you're going to drink and do whatever you got to do it. Have fun, have a blast. Just have a plan home. That's all we ask, right?
Yeah,
5 minutes of thinking can save you 30 years of life,
absolutely. Well
right?
said.
So, on that note, everybody, please have a safe weekend as we get into the Christmas season. The lights are out, the trees are there. Good time of the year, my friend. One of my favorite times of the year.
Yeah, me
So
too.
on that note, Samp and Chance are out.